A complex sentence is made up of an independent clause and one or more dependent clauses. An independent clause can stand on its own as a complete sentence, but a dependent clause cannot. It is dependent on something else, like an independent clause, in order to become a complete sentence, also known as a complex sentence. Anyway, an example of an independent clause would be, the American colonists felt they were being mistreated. There is a subject plus a predicate. There is some information missing from this sentence. For example, why did they feel this way? Did you know as a result of the Stamp Act of 1765, documents such as diplomas, wills, newspapers, playing cards, legal papers, and even calendars required a stamp to show that a tax had been paid to Great Britain? That's weird, right? Even though there seems to be more to the story, there is an independent clause because it could stand on its own, which is what the colonists wanted when they declared their independence from Britain. Dependent clauses begin with words called subordinating conjunctions. There are many subordinating conjunctions, but the most common ones can be remembered with the following acronym: AWOOBIS. AWOOBIS, besides sounding like it's straight out of Star Wars, stands for after, although, as, when, while, until, because, before, if, since. Here are a few examples of dependent clauses. When Thomas Paine published Common Sense. After the French and Indian War. Until the Declaration of Independence was adopted. These clauses can't stand on their own. An independent clause should be added to create a complex sentence. An example of a complex sentence would be, after the Stamp Act was passed in 1765, the American colonists felt they were being mistreated. More examples include, although nearly 1 in 4 of Washington's men died during the winter at Valley Forge, he used the winter to develop his men into a disciplined fighting force. France and Spain pledged their support for America's fight for independence after a victory at Saratoga. Complex sentences must have at least one independent clause plus one or more dependent clauses. So, in review, an independent clause can stand on its own as a complete sentence, but a dependent clause cannot. Dependent clauses begin with words called subordinating conjunctions. The most common subordinating conjunctions can be remembered using the acronym AWOOBIS. And the Stamp Act of 1765 was the first internal tax levied against the British colonies in America by the British Parliament.